Hello everyone, my name is Maria Gulczynska and I've prepared this reader's guide in the form of frequently asked questions for you about my book entitled Toubab. I've divided the contents into three sections. The first one is about the title, the second one is about the names of the characters in the book, and the third one is about the language and any sort of references that are connected to the book itself. The first question is, why have you chosen this title in particular? Toubab means white or a white traveler and refers to the French colonizers in Senegal. Moreover, it is a verb to convert in Wolof, the native language of the Wolof people from Senegal, the Gambia and the Mauritania, due to the fact that the missionaries in the colonial times were white. It is amazing how one word can give us so many meanings and interpretations. According to the Urban Dictionary, it evolved into a verb that means to treat someone differently based on their cultural background or nationality, because we believe it would be beneficial for us. The title of this book is a sort of a statement that gives away what it is about without obviously going into details, so I would call it a semi-spoiler really. Interestingly enough, it took me very little time and thought to come up with this title. It was the first thing that came up to express what I meant by having written and what you will find inside this drama. Toubab does not only convey the fact that the scenes are happening in an exotic context of Senegal to an English teacher and mostly white expats, but also the struggle of the characters in question who are looking for their identities or real selves. Or maybe they cannot escape their real selves, even though they are in a foreign context. It is about the place, but above all, it is about people being toubabbed by others and themselves. The second question, what about the characters and their names? Are their names casual, or is there something more to it? As you can tell from the very descriptions of the characters, their names are far from casual. I have selected them carefully to express the connection between each person's name and their personality and stereotypical way of showing their cultural and gender identity. Let's analyze them a bit closer, shall we? Fanny Szczebrzeszyn. This character is a Polish teacher of English. I have chosen the name Fanny in the first place because it is full of contradictions, just like the person in this drama. Fanny is a diminutive of Francis and means one who is free or crowned in victory, depending on the country and culture you wish to interpret it from. That's the beauty of its appeal, a free queen if you mix and match multiculturally. In the English language, it means either the buttocks, which fits naturally to Fanny since she's being an ass sometimes, or according to taboo British slang, the female genitals, since she sometimes behaves the way society constructed her gender as being the weaker sex. Szczebrzeszyn is just a surname that indicates the complications in pronunciation, since it's a name of a town from a Polish tongue twister. I used it to indicate the nationality, but also the complexity of the character's identity. Bill Lovelace. Bill means a resolute protector and is of Old Norman French origin. It became popular in England after William the Conqueror invaded the above-mentioned country. This name fits the boyish man in my drama because he is searching by thinking, but at the same time, as if wearing a helmet, protecting himself from whatever he considers regular. I have chosen the surname Lovelace here as an analogy to Robert Lovelace, the character from the English novel entitled Clarissa or the History of a Young Lady by Samuel Richardson. Mr. Lovelace is a wealthy libertine, a dandy. When you read the scenes, you will probably notice why I have chosen this name based on what you already know about its etymology. Igor Monday. Igor has a twist to his name. In Russian, it means a warrior of peace, which I find particularly paradoxical. That is why my character works for an embassy. In Scandinavian culture, it means hero. People with this name are believed to secretly crave stability and being loved, and contrary to expectations, they tend to be conservative. Monday, used as a surname here, is nothing else but the first day of the working week, the day everyone pretends to hate. In Judaism, this day is devoted to penitential prayers, unless there is something to be happy about, which I thought would sound explicit enough to describe the character. Richard von der Wusterlich. Richard means strong in rule in Old Germanic language. You would imagine Richard to be a powerful and strong male with leadership skills, and you would never call him Dick. Von der Wusterlich is a variation of a surname one would imagine a person of aristocratic origins to have. Von, used in German, is a term that indicates nobility, as opposed to its Dutch version, van, which was added to commoners' names meaning from. Worcester means a lot of things, but here it is a word that is used to confuse people, so they have to ask you what you meant. I added suffix lich to make it sound more Germanic, but it also means an undead sorcerer that is immune to any sort of attack, be it physical or mental. I wonder if you notice the connection when you meet the character. Mamadou. It is a common name in West Africa. I wanted to introduce the everyman to highlight the global neutrality of people here, an ordinary individual who is devoid of individuality. Ameth Diouf. According to the Caballerian philosophy, a person with this name is stable and easygoing, but not very self-confident, which is exactly what I needed this character to be. The surname Diouf is a very old name adapted by the Diouf clan. Their totem is an antelope. Did you know that antelopes tend to be monogamous? It's either one or sometimes maximum 4 females for 1 male, which statistically matches the male-female requirements in Muslim beliefs. Ruth. This word means pity or remorse in British English. One cannot help but feel pity for Ruth in this case. In the Old Testament, there is a story about Ruth, a woman who leaves her own people to be with her mother-in-law. Jane, Judy. Jane and Judy, these words just mean a woman, a sort of a female version of the everyman. They could be plain and simplistic in their behavior and understanding of things. The third question. What about the language used and references given in the book? Can you help us out with the interpretation a bit? Sure. The language itself started as an experiment in incorporating social linguistics into the equation, as well as using the expressions in Wolof that I believe are crucial in understanding Senegalese culture. I am not going to explain them because they have been explained in the book in its footnotes. I would like to focus on what inspired the dialogues and situations instead. Wole Soyinka. This Nigerian playwright, poet and essayist was my very first inspiration when I decided to write a play. After reading some of his works, I wanted to copy his style in the usage of the language, as well as the theme of cultural heritage and existence in general. Soyinka's works are a fantastic example of what we mean by Anglophone literary pieces, where the English language clashes with the non-English culture on which English has been imposed. Erving Goffman, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life, the book by this famous sociologist, has been the cause of every interpretation I made in terms of social interaction. It is considered the 10th most important sociological research of the 20th century and the Bible for every sociologist. In his approach, Goffman uses theatre and acting to describe human social interaction. We frame and are framed at the same time. We adapt our behavior to different frames, and hence we end up being different people in different situations. Everyone has many faces, one at work, another one at home, or in a foreign country, etc. Therefore, it is not only important how things are said, but also by whom. Stuart Hall. This cultural theorist and his encoding-decoding model of communication inspired me to play with the language and come up with some humorous exchanges of words. People are capable of misunderstanding and are definitely not passive receivers of a message from a sender, but play an active role in understanding. We understand what we want to understand and what makes sense to us based on our cultural background, social class, level of knowledge, etc. That's it. I do hope you will enjoy reading this drama as much as I enjoyed researching the topics and writing it. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Maria Gulczynska.